Hello, I'm Anthony David Hobbs. I've been to the Isle of Wight. That's very white, not because it's covered in snow, but because of the chalk. Yeah, Isle of Wight. Anyway, we're here to talk about The Thing, or more specifically, the 1982 remake of The Thing. And it takes place in Antarctica, but technically it was filmed in Alaska, so very near the North Pole. Well, because that's more convenient to film, it's not quite as cold, and they have hotel facilities, yeah. Although technically some of the bits were filmed in a set in California with lots of fake ice and snow, so yeah, ironic because California is not anything like as cold as the North Pole. Anyway, okay. The story takes place in the South Pole. And, I'll start right at the beginning. I first saw The Thing, I think I was about 17. It was late at night and everyone else had gone to bed, so I watched a bit of late night telly. I'd missed the first, 7 minutes. I had no idea what The Thing was. Never heard of it. Couldn't tell it from Adam. So I had no idea it was science fiction or anything like that. I just like the music. The bit when we see a helicopter flying across the snowy landscapes of the South Pole, I thought the music was really cool. So that's what got my attention, made me watch it. Now, The Thing was not a hit when it was brand new. It was what you call a sleeper hit. Yeah, a few years later, people rented it on video because renting videos had gotten popular. So, yeah, but it was not a hit when it was brand new. It was regarded as a bit of a flop, yeah. And the soundtrack was nominated for, worst soundtrack ever. Ironic, really, because it was the soundtrack that got my attention, made me want to see the film in the first place. Yeah, okay. Anyway, we have a dog being shot at by a Norwegian, and nothing will stop him shooting that dog. It doesn't clearly specify why. Yeah, we're totally ignorant here at this point. The helicopter lands, he tries to kill it with a bomb, he drops the bomb, accidentally blows up the helicopter pilot and the helicopter itself. But he doesn't care. He doesn't care the helicopter's been destroyed. No, priority one is killing that dog. And he runs after the dog, shoots one man in the leg because he's getting in the way. Goes, and he's clearly utterly determined to get out of the way. They can't understand him because he's talking Norwegian. And then one of the Americans who thinks that he's trying to kill the people, he shoots him. And they decide to adopt the dog, yeah, and they think, well, he's Norwegian. Why did he go crazy like that and want to kill everyone in sight? Well, he didn't. He just wanted the dog. But they thought he wanted to kill everyone. And they just think, well, maybe he just went stir crazy. Now, Macready, played by Kurt Russell, who'd already been in a John Carpenter film, yes, he's a bit suspicious. He thinks, no, I think there's more to this than meets the eye. I don't think he just went crazy. So let's go and see the Norwegian base, yeah. Why didn't they contact him with their radio? Well, because there's interference because of the bad weather and everything. So they decide to go to the Norwegian base in person. And when they get there, everybody's dead. They've either been burned alive or committed suicide. And it's then that Macready, Kurt Russell, thinks, no, something's not right here. I don't think that Norwegian man went crazy at all. I can believe one man has gone stir crazy, but not everyone in the entire base. No, nobody went crazy. Something really specific happened. So it's like a murder mystery. You've got to put the pieces of the jigsaw together. Yeah. And it's a lot of figuring out in this film. They find, oh yes, when they find the dead man that's been torched, still, I didn't know there was any science fiction elements. No, I just thought it was a man that his face was deformed because he'd been in an explosion or something like that. Well, what the hell was it that killed him? So they take the dead body, they're scientists, they want some answers, yeah, they take it back to their base. But still, I had no idea there were any sci-fi elements, yeah. So when the dog is put in the paddock with the other dogs, and they take him as one of their own, they welcome him, yeah. And then without the slightest warning, the dog, the husky or the dog, his face splits into about quarters and all these alien tentacle things come out of him. And I was like, what the Christ thing hell is going on here? Yeah, I was as shocked as the characters in the story. What the hell is going on here? Yeah. And it gets ugly and hideous and revolting. Obviously, the others hear the dogs barking a lot, so they come to see what's going on. One dog runs away like a bolt of lightning. Yeah, guns don't have any effect on it. It can't die of cold, so they use the flamethrower. Yes, they kill it like that. Okay, now something really specific is going on. So they examine the dead alien body. Yeah. Now, why was the thing made when it was? Well, because John Carpenter, he wanted to make the thing as far back as 1974. Yeah, he was a big fan of The Thing from Another World, so let's do a remake. But he wasn't famous yet, so people wouldn't listen to him, wouldn't take him seriously. Then he did Halloween, which was a mega hit in '78. Then he did Escape from New York, and of course that made Kurt Russell famous. Yeah, and plus Alien had been this mega hit in 1979. So the idea of an alien monster attacking people, Hollywood didn't like that idea. Thought no one wants to see a film like that in 1974. But after Alien came out, I thought right, the timing is right. We want a scary alien monster movie. But why was The Thing a flop when it was brand new in the summer of 1982? Well, a number of reasons. One of them was it was released at more or less the same time as E.T., the extraterrestrial. It was released at the same time as Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan, Rocky III, and Conan the Barbarian. So that is serious competition all at the same time, yeah. Another reason it didn't do that well, the gore was way over the top, yeah. I remember the first time I saw it, I hadn't seen the Nightmare on Elm Street films. I hadn't seen so much gore in a mainstream film. So yeah, it was very disgusting and horrific to say the least. And I thought the movie would have been better if the gore had been toned down. I thought the levels of gore was really unnecessary. I've changed my mind since then. yeah, but it's the gore is very over the top, but when you get over that and concentrate on the story, it is very well done. Yeah, just don't watch it when you're eating. Oh God, yeah. Anyway, yes, slowly the characters work out the story. Yeah, and when they find out, yes, this is a creature that can imitate other creatures. It's a shapeshifter. Yeah. And but it's all over now because we've destroyed it. Yeah, we're all perfectly safe now. But then they take the notes from the Norwegian base, and they see they can't understand the language, but they watch the stock footage and they find that they discovered something buried under the ice, a huge spaceship. They take the creature that's frozen in ice. It wakes up and kills the lot of them. Yeah. And then one of the other scientists, he works out the dead body we took, the really deformed man that had been torched, he's not dead yet. I think we should go and have another look at that dead body because I don't think it's dead. I don't think it was destroyed enough. And anyway, like the T-1000 in Terminator 2, the Thing can shapeshift. Yeah, the difference, of course, is the T-1000 can shapeshift in a matter of seconds. Whereas, no, the Thing, it's different. It needs a good 10 or 12 minutes to shapeshift. It has to be alone with one of its victims, and it absorbs him like that. Yeah, so he can't do it with any witnesses, otherwise he'll be rumbled. And then there's a point in the story, one of them sees another man being absorbed and then screams and tells the others. They get it outside. Its hands haven't quite formed properly yet. So they torch it, kill it with a flamethrower. And another trick, it gets worse, that they find out one drop of the blood from this creature can leave its body, crawl along the floor, and if it goes on your food or in your drink and you eat it, then you have it inside your body, and it happens much, much slowly. But yes, it absorbs you and turns into one of its things, yeah. And I used to think the Thing had babies because there's more than one of them. Almost correct. No, what actually happens is it can split into different parts, and they all look like separate entities, and then can all join together as one big complete whole. So yes, that's the difference. And yes, the T-1000 can split into different parts, but it can't actually increase in size. It can stretch like plasticine or elastic, but it can't physically get bigger. The Thing from another world, it can get bigger. If lots of different parts join together, it becomes a huge, big giant. Yes, it can do that, yeah. But it doesn't do it straight away, no, because it's hiding. Yes, it knows that if they can kill it. If they ever find any of it, bits of it, they'll destroy it. Yeah. And then there's a turning point in the story where Kurt Russell he's rumbled it when he sees one man. Most of his body's on fire. His head detaches, and those little spider legs come out of it, and it tries to run away. They torch it. They're horrified. I was horrified, and he says, "You got to be effing kidding!" The sight of it. Yeah. So yes, it is visually stunning. The special effects, as gory as they are, and you think, what on earth are we going to see next? What strange, unusual shape is it going to make next? Yeah, it's full of surprises. Yeah. And The Thing from Another World, the original film from the 50s, not as scary, no, not as good special effects, although it did have the first ever stuntman on fire running about. So yeah, that was pretty cool. But no, I think I prefer the remake. It's scary, and the paranoia is much better done in the remake than it is in the original. And the original's in the North Pole, yeah. Oh yes, the word assimilate. I thought that was a word made up in Star Trek because the Borg assimilate people. No, The word assimilate means to, when one creature absorbs another energy and takes his body and puts it inside him to make him bigger and stronger. Yeah. It can mean to clone someone, look the same, but not necessarily. It simply means to absorb the original person, so he ends up dead, and you take all this energy and strength and put it inside you. In other words, what's the difference between cloning and assimilating? If you clone someone, the original one is still alive, you've just made a copy. But if you assimilate, no, the original person is dead, and you've absorbed him and made him look like him. So the others are none the wiser. They think it's the same person, yeah. Okay, the big turning point in the story is when Kurt Russell, he realised that if you get a sample of each man's blood, put it in a petri dish, and then get a red hot needle, put it in, if he's human, nothing will happen. But if he's not human, that thing will try and survive and get out, yeah, and avoid the hot needle to get away, yeah. The others are sceptical. They don't think that'll prove anything. His theory is wrong, but yeah, he has them all at gunpoint. They don't have any choice. So they do it, and one of them, yes, the creature, it comes out, and he realizes, oh, what the hell, they've rumbled me, I may as well reveal myself. And that's what he did. His head splits apart and becomes a big mouth, and he turns into this hideous monster. They have to kill him and stand well back, because if any of his blood gets on them, they'll turn into those things, yeah. So yes, now the heroes have an advantage, even though half of them are all dead. They know exactly how to do tests to make sure who's an alien creature and who's human. Now, it's a sort of film you need to see more than once, because the character of Blair, when he was smashing up the radio system, their only means of communication to the outside world, he's smashing it up. I thought he turned into one of those alien creatures. No, he hasn't. If he had turned into an alien creature at that point, he'd want outsiders to come there. Yes, yeah. So it's the opposite. He's still human. He's trying to isolate that creature so it can't possibly contact anyone else. In other words, if that creature ever gets in a populated area, it'll assimilate, well, not just humans, dogs, cats, horses, cows, everything, yeah. The entire planet will be absorbed by that creature. So in other words, originally the scientists are fighting for their own survival, but then later that they realise the stakes are much higher. We're fighting to save the human species in general. Yes, yeah, the stakes are much higher. And then, big spoiler alert, originally the ending was going to be a happy ending. The heroes are all jolly and manage to get home. No, that wouldn't work, because it's supposed to be a really gritty horror film. So instead, there's only 2 survivors. The whole base has been torched, so they think, is one of us the thing? Well, even if it is, we don't know, but either way, even if outsiders did come, they'd see the whole place has been burnt to the ground, so they'd realise something has gone wrong. Yeah, something is going on here, yeah. And the big climax at the end, when all the bits of the creature unite together and become one huge monster, and there's a dog's head with no skin, and the man's head has turned to a big mouth, to terrify Kurt Russell, basically, to put the fear of God in him, yeah. Yes, the creature knows how to frighten people, yeah, definitely, yeah. Well, Kurt Russell blows it to bits, yeah. And the creature is smart, it works out how to frame Kurt Russell about halfway through the film. So yes, this is one serious challenge, yeah. And when it kills those innocent little dogs, that's really horrible, but then the thing is ruthless. There's no limit to how low it will sink. It'll do anything to take over, yeah. So it takes the heroes every last piece of effort they've got to get rid of this thing, yeah. And they get more paranoid and more aggressive. Yes, they won't give up without a fight, yeah. So although the gore is very over the top, it is very well done, a very visually stunning film. And it's like the board game Cluedo, like a murder mystery. Who can you trust and who can't you? Yeah. Okay, so if you're not used to blood and guts and gore, that takes some getting used to. But overall, yes, it is a very well done film. And some say John Carpenter's best film. Well, right, so yes, although it didn't do well at first, it has gained a huge following now. Okay, thank you for watching. I'm Anthony Hobbs, and I'm never bored.